This year, we were very fortunate to have one of our Piedmont Academy graduates return to speak to us. The class of 2018 is proud to welcome back Miss Christy, a member of PAC's class of 1992, to share some of her life experiences and wisdom.
Good morning, Board of Trustees, members of faculty, parents, guests, and graduates. It's good to be back at Piedmont this morning. It's hard to believe that it was 26 years ago I sat on this very same stage. I'm honored to be here and to share a few moments with the class of 2018 before they head out into this wonderful world. I hope the words I speak today can convey to you a sense of wonder and of inspiration. These words, of course, are coming to you from the stranger behind the podium, speaking to you about life's stock advice. So bear with me as I aim to bridge the generational gap. I, too, once walked these halls and cheered on our teams during pep rallies, and I wore my share of sports jerseys of basketball, softball, and even stood on the sidelines holding water bottles from those Southern-famed Friday night lights, and of course science fairs and one-act plays. I learned in the same classrooms as you did. I crammed for tests, sang the alma mater, led Cougar Blue, of course, and I even slipped away a few times to Dairy Queen. I even wrote a letter to my future self, just as most of you may have in kindergarten, I'm sure with Miss Julie. I recall my letter to my future self I wrote in 3rd grade for Miss Gwen Deerwood. I remember writing I wanted to be a farmer when I grow up. I'm here to tell you right now that life doesn't always turn out as planned. And in this case, of course, it was best. I'm still yet to grow a good tomato plant. When I left this stage, like you will today, I went off to college and followed society's scripted plan. I chose a major, chose a career path, told myself I'm following my passion and my scripted plan. And I'm here to tell you most of it went as planned, until one day. One day I decided I wanted to do something different, something adventurous, and I wanted to see and explore this world we live in beyond the boundaries of America. And so I did. Backpack on, camera, and passport in hand, and the adventure began. What I found was so different than I'd ever expected, so amazing, so beautiful, even quite daunting. So much so that after my first trip abroad, I simply could not get enough of exploring this world. Now, over 50 countries later, multiple mountain summits, including standing on the roof of Africa on Mount Kilimanjaro, and many, many hours of trip planning and destination dreaming, I found a part of me that I never knew existed. A photographer, an adventurer, a storyteller, even an accidental educator, and a connoisseur of this world. What travel taught me was an art of seeing, of living, of lifelong friendships, of love of life, and of course, outrageous and very true adventures. It is said the heart is the driving force of human life. It skips a beat when we are inspired and when we are in awe. It represents our greatest dreams and our greatest moments. From this, we find our lives, our purpose, and our very meaning. From encounters that I have had with fabled craftsmen, the coffin maker in Tanzania, a shaman in the jungles of the Amazon, to the school children of Swakopmund, to the Sams tribesmen in Slovenia, telling their stories of compassion, humanity, traditional walkabouts, and of daily life. So I'm here to tell you that right now, put your phones down, social media can wait. Take the time for the experiences, the moment, and see the person that is in front of you. See the world which is in motion around you. Be present in every moment. If you are not, you may very well miss one of the greatest, most transformative times of your life. So I must ask, in your journey, will you too march off the map? A few years ago, I had an opportunity to attend a lecture at Emory University. The speaker was Tenzin Gyatso, an elder who had traveled from the East to impart great wisdom and knowledge to those in attendance. Tenzin Gyatso is a revered scholar, and to simply sit in his lecture was for me reward enough to say I had attended. But on this day, being present in the moment, I would learn more about life by the simple actions of a human than I ever expected. All of my my preconceived notions and expectations would be changed from everything I had learned about this person, his writings, his work. All of it changed in a moment. I had prepared myself for a rigorous academic lecture, but not for what would transpire. A few moments earlier, he had come on the stage and taken a seat in the row of chairs behind the podium. And as the last attendees were entering the room, the lecturer rises from his chair and he begins to walk briskly across the stage. His hands are outreached and his voice toned with excitement as he gains speed moving across the stage. My friend, he exclaimed. By this time, his ensemble of guards had risen from their seats, looking at each other confused at what was happening, and they too began to move towards the stage. The lecturer continued, my friend, and he waited eagerly at the edge of the stage in complete excitement of seeing his friend enter the room. In that moment, this renowned and esteemed lecturer went from the perception of an untouchable, of superhuman, to being human. He became a person taking in life at the very moment as life unfolded around him. And it was in that moment he became not the great philosopher, but the devoted friend. You see, the lecturer that day for class, the world knows him as His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. The lesson, by witnessing him being present in the world, his words of compassion and human understanding from his actions, his writings, and that very lecture all gained a completely new meaning. It is in these moments that count. I wish each of you in life to have so many of these moments that count. Be present in the moment. Value the lesson from the experience. See, in school, you are taught lessons and then given the test first. In life, the test comes first. The lesson follows. At Harvard, we are taught every day we risk failure by pushing the limits. We step out of our comfort zones and we embrace the art of delivery, and we change the mold of logical thinking from best practices to next practices. If not, we go unnoticed and we gain no more than if we never arrived. So I tell you, work harder than you can ever imagine. Be a person that takes action and be bold. Every story you have connected with, every leader you have ever admired, everything you have accomplished is the result of taking action, taking risk, pushing the limits. As your life unfolds, you will encounter challenges that will test your strength and your ability. You will find the education you have received at Piedmont will provide the capacity to resolve some of those challenges. You will confirm that your education is key to help open doors of opportunity. You will also find, however, it is not a guarantee to success. Success is coupled with hard work, consistency, dedication, and a devotion to duty. As for that stock advice I mentioned earlier, I challenge each of you to set amazing goals. Don't ever underestimate what you can do. And climbing Kilimanjaro was one of the hardest physical journeys I had ever undertaken in my life. I started my journey to summit from base camp at midnight and walked into the darkness of the night. The summit bid would be 2 steps uphill. Lean forward on your trekking poles and gasp for air. At 19,000 feet, the air is thin. You look up into the vast darkness in hopes of seeing a summit line, then looking back down at your feet to ensure they are moving one small step forward at a time. Then repeat each step and repeat for 9 more hours. That morning, when I reached for summit, I removed the weight of my backpack and walked unprepared, vulnerable to the elements, and I climbed to the edge and looked across the horizon as the sun rose across the savannas of Africa. It was then, at that moment, I saw the world, and I really lived. I had waited 15 years to take on climbing Kilimanjaro to get to base camp. I had walked for a week already. The push for summit came with only 2 hours of sleep in the past 72 hours. The winds blew strong, the air was thin, the snow filled the air, and darkness filled the sky in the last hours for the summit bid as the temperatures plummeted sub-zero. Then as the light of a new day rose over the savannas, the optimum of success was achieved. And it was the victory of Summit. Months of hard work, years of planning, training, and I'd stood on the summit of Kilimanjaro that day as the only American to make Summit, one of 48 from around the world who set out to achieve such a feat, and only one of 12 who would succeed. All of that work to stand on the summit for less than 10 minutes. You will encounter your own Kilimanjaro at some point in your life. Remember patience, perseverance, and don't forget about the journey it takes to get to the top. This morning, I challenge you. I challenge you to be brave enough to live a creative life. The opportunity to do so is a gift. Be humble, for today you did not walk miles for water. Be a poet of your words and a storyteller of life, because the best stories of life do not come from the beaten path. Make mistakes along the way and do crazy things. Say things, of course. Because when you are old, you need to have something to laugh about. Remember, you are the storyteller of your life. Become a relentless learner. It is by far the greatest thing you can become. I challenge you to take the time for simple things. Take the time to watch ants. Yes, I said ants, A-N-T-S. You will learn how complex something so small really is. And from this, you will learn the vastness of a thriving world of 7.5 billion people. So take time for simple things. Watch the sunrise and be mesmerized by the tranquility of the first light of day. Understand what first light means, what it looks like, what it feels like. Listen as the light awakens the planet and awakens life around you. Be patient. You will learn in time. Your dreams become plans, and your plans become reality. Raise the bar. If your fingertips can touch the bar, then raise the bar higher, always higher. Never settle. Remember, you are the relentless learner. Brian Herbert said, the capacity to learn is a gift, the ability to learn is a skill, but the willingness to learn is a choice. The greatest thing we can be is ourselves, and the greatest gift we can give ourselves is happiness, and the greatest happiness comes by living our lives in the moment. Submerge yourself in the depths of this world around you. It is an amazing world. I'll give you one last challenge. I challenge you to not only look, but to see, to not only hear, but to listen, to not only speak, but to inspire, to not only live, but to be alive. And as the clock ticks by with time, remember, you have the power to change the world, the ability to start a conversation, the opportunity to live every moment in awe. You are a witness to the greatest existence of all, life. And life is amazing and it is humbling. Be the writer of your story, then stand to bear witness to extraordinary. And may I remind you, extraordinary happens every day. In this most amazing world around us, I have challenged you, explore, learn, be kind, be grateful, be present, and most of all, be relentless. It is in every waking moment of every day. But remember, along this journey in life, don't forget to call your mother. Don't be a stranger. Return to your alma mater often, whether that is for homecoming, a football game, judging a science fair, or mentoring a student. Remember, you wear Cougar Blue. I wish the best to each of you in this great adventure, this journey we call life. May you be blessed with happiness, success, and live a life in awe of an amazing world around you. Never let any boundary be the limitations of you. Bear witness to this world and take time to meet the people, capture life as it unfolds, and live it amazingly. Parents, they did it. Graduating class of 2018, welcome to the next day of your next amazing chapter. You have endless choices. Congratulations.